last 5 years has been very special because you've made me a better man. Can't imagine the rest of my life without you. Please, Nancy, USA, Acholonu, will you marry me?
Oh my gosh! Yes! Hello. How are you? Good morning. Happy New Year once again to you. Hope you're well. Welcome to the channel. So today I want to talk about the Ekubo and Fancy. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't really pronounce it well except if I'm really reading it last week. Issue. This has been going on for weeks now, and I had to give it time. Maybe it's just going to kind of calm down, then I can just analyze everything at the same time. But it seems this thing is not ready to go away, as in they are not ready to end the situation at the moment, being that Fancy has been coming online to put out some things, and the social media are also interested. They are watching it, they are asking questions, she's responding, and Alex hasn't really said much. Those are the things I want to analyze today. Excuse me. So from the video you watched earlier, this lady was Fancy got engaged to Ekubo, I think in year 2001 or so, or 2000. And I heard that before the engagement, they've had off and on relationship. Maybe they broke up, they will come back again. So that happens then till finally it happens in relationships. Some people fight, people disagree. Sometimes people feel that, they're not compatible. Everyone has to go their own way. Sometimes when they actually left each other, that they see the vacuum that is missing, that I'm actually missing this person. I think this person has become part of me, or I think I can put up with this person, and maybe situation will come their way. Maybe they meet again or something, and they come back again. They will say, let's give it a try, and then most of them learn from their previous mistake, while some still trend on the same thing, and that's still the same thing that's still gonna be causing their issues. Anyway, we're not talking about that relationship today. So Alex and Fancy got together. Alex proposed. From the video you've seen, she was excited, and from the story I heard, or from what I read on the social media, that Fancy decided to break up with Alex maybe just close to the pre-wedding date. So, and of course that went on social media, where she talked about from her write-up, she said she's not going on with this thing, and she said Alex should live in his truth. And that statement was what got the internet going, and people started asking questions like what does she mean? Is Alex a GAY? And before then, people have been speculating that Alex is a GAY. The guy hasn't really been coming to debunk this thing, but I saw an interview, I think maybe with Trudy or so, that where during that time the question was thrown to him, and he said he doesn't know where people got that impression from, but he is not. So, but he's actually not been fighting or attacking people or responding to social media's accusation that is GAY. So living your truth is what people were holding on to, with what Fancy as what she put out as at upper year 2001, when she broke up with Alex. and that went on. So like 2 weeks ago, Fancy decided to write another um, um, thing and posted it about that it's like she's begging Alex that they should come back, that what she meant by living is truth, is not what the social media I would say with the online in-law took it as. So it was a misconception of what she meant. So she was trying to just paint the picture well, blah blah blah, and people went bizarre. Of course, I think I would say 60-40, 60% of people don't want Alex to take Fancy back, considering the fact that she was the one who broke up with him, and the statement she made, that so does she now need to stay? Is she now saying that she wants to live with that living your truth thing? And she decided to respond on social media as well. So it's been back and forth, thing. I'm sure most of you know the story. I'm just trying to narrate it in a simple way so the video is not too long, because there's something there's interview that I'm going to read out. This is an exclusive interview with actor Alex Ekubo's US-based ex-fiancée Nancy Acholonu. She tells Stella Caucus that she did not break up with Alex because of his gender issue, and explained a lot of things, including their chat that leaked. So Stella said, "Hello, Fancy, can we talk? I am a journalist." Fancy responded saying, "Hey, Stella, Happy New Year. Sure, what would you like to discuss? Please let me know." Stella responded, "About all this stuff going on, do you want to grant me an interview? I was really excited and looking forward to you and Alex's reconciliation, but it looks like that's not happening anytime soon. What went wrong? I will understand if you don't want to talk about it, don't want to talk, but I will advise you do." Then Fancy responded by saying, "I have seen your blog before is positive, especially when you speak of Alex and I. So this is all very devastating. I feel like speaking up make me look bad, but so does my silence. I've never done an interview about this. I just silent, but Alex continued to want me to make public apologies, and it's hurting me in so many ways. I have never ever shared reasons why I left. I know he has an image to protect for him to look cool. But this last apology statement we wrote together broke me, and it was just all for revenge for him to clear his image and ruin mine." Stella now said, "Please," Stella said, "Why did you break up your engagement, Fancy?" That Fancy responded by saying, "There are so many reasons I ended it. It's very personal. I don't want to embarrass him or myself further. If you say why, people will say, well, how obvious was that? And you ignore red flags. We try to reconcile. I asked for us to do it privately, get counseling. He disagreed. Even his family and friends said privately would be better. But he needed the grand gesture apology so he can have the grand wedding he wants again. Not caring the issues were still there. Everything is about social media for him, and somehow it's now looking like I want the attention when this is worst attention I've ever had in my life. I have a full-time job, client, family, business, and so on and so forth. This was what I wanted to avoid. It ruined every chance of us being back together, by thinking emulating me will make me still love him." Part 2. Now I'm hearing my breakup text has leaked. I sent it to my close people at the time of the breakup. They're so upset with Alice and how he treats me that I know they leaked it. We would have married quietly and move on. Now everyone is in our business, so here comes the sabotage because they feel it's bad for me based on everything they know. Stella now asks, so there is no chance of a reconciliation? Fancy responded and said no. Then Stella asked again, now let me ask you straight up. There has been so much talk about going around since you broke up with Alex. They say you found out that it swings both ways. If it's not true, at least correct that impression that you broke up caused. It would only be fair to him. Fancy responded and said, we can't. It's so messy. I tried my best. You wanted to get back with me as soon as I did. We've been at this for 1 year, but it felt since I broke up with him, I should do more of the work. I was fine with that, but his methods are cruel and constantly public, his gentility is not the reason I broke up with him. I'm very open-minded, so regardless of what he prefers, I love to love me. I love his love for me. I love him for his personality and heart, nothing more. He didn't want me to be with this. Okay, you know what? I'm messing up here. Let me start. I was fine with that, but his methods are cruel and constantly public. His gentility is not the reason I broke up with him. I'm very open-minded, so regardless of what he prefers, love is love for me. I love him for his personality and heart, nothing more. He didn't want to be with me intimately, which was confusing and difficult for me to understand, especially for 5 years. So it did affect my self-esteem as I kept myself for him. And when he would cheat with curvy women, he wouldn't perform with them either. So I don't know. I can't confirm or deny his gentility, but for me, I love him despite all, and he still found way to hurt me. Stella then asked, dated 5 years and no intimacy? Did you confirm he was cheating, caught him, or you were told? Fancy responded by saying, yes, that is embarrassingly true. When I met him, I didn't have much experience, so it was easy to convince me that his decision was because of religion. But he would constantly cheat, and yes, I caught him. He would hurt me because that's not part of the religious belief he made our celibacy to be. Honestly, this whole thing has been complicated beyond words, so it's unhealthy for me to continue this relationship. I guess I needed this post he begged me to do so that I can see his intention was just to clean up his image. Part 3. I am truly sorry I ever posted a breakup message. It's a guilt that has haunted me, and it play on that. I can't fix the past or its constant punishment, even though my life is in their truth statement has truth to it. This embarrassment is not something I deserve. Stella then asked, and from the breakup text, it looks like you were the one to pay for the wedding both of you were to have. And Fancy said, you have seen it? Stella said, yes, I have. Then Fancy responded by saying, I'm so embarrassed, but everything in that message is true. At that time, I was angry and sent it to close people, and when they saw it, they were shocked. It's bad because with all that, I still wanted to go back to him because I love him. But it's been so public made it impossible to repair this. Stella then asked, Do you think too many outsiders are involved in this? Have both families intervened? Then Fancy said, yes, too many. My friend does not want him anymore in our family. My family does not want him anymore in our family. They know too much. They were in support of a reconciliation if it was private, but his tit for tat was concerning. That August statement not being enough was concerning. He only focused on my reaction, never on his action. Stella now asks again, one last thing, say something to Alex through this interview. Talk to him through me. Fancy now said, honestly, I don't know what to say to him. This has to be the most devastating things I've ever been through. And for it to be so public, I pray we both find healing and peace, because it won't be an easy journey. One breakup statement shouldn't have led to all this. I wish I've never said anything, but I am human. I was fed up with good reasons. I pray he doesn't only focus on people's reaction, but evaluate his action too. I also pray he learns to be real and more forgiving with his next person, and not to be so consumed with having the perfect image people, because it's draining to keep up that up. My mental health can't tolerate our relationship anymore. So Stella now said, wow, catch a hug from me, Ceci. Thank you for opening up to me. I pray both of you find closure from this. And Nancy responded by saying, no problem. There's been report that he blocked me on the social media. That's not true. That would be really bad on him. I don't want people to think that he just revealed himself. What happened for me, what I see about this is I'll kind of swing between Alex and Fancy. What I think about, I think Fancy is naive. She's not a street girl as people are calling it, that she's a bit naive. I think Fancy needs help as well, in as much as we're saying Alex is a GAY, Alex is not talking, but Fancy needs help. I think there's something that Fancy is dealing with that she's not actually saying out. She's been saying she will not say what actually caused why she broke up with him initially, broke up the engagement with him over a year ago. But at the same time, in as much as she's not saying it, she's still hammering on the same kind of line, and it still got people asking the same question. And now it's like people are getting fed up asking that, saying that if you're not ready to tell us why you broke up with them and you just kept preaching 30%, you go back to 20%, that when it's like you're winding the online people up, and it's tiring. So she needs to, if she wants to say her truth, she should say it. If she doesn't want to, I think she should just keep it for now. But from what I've seen so far, I'm thinking, is there anything that she still needs to say? I think they need to sit down and agree on if they want to come on social media to display their relationship, how it started and how it ended, and who is going to respond, because Alex seems to be not someone that wants to do accept the truths of social media, except that it's something that is promoting his acting career. So Fancy needs help. She's naive. She's not as mature enough. I think she's just going to be 30, or she's in her early 30s. There's still a lot to learn. Sometimes it's not about the age. Please don't get me wrong. So sometimes it's not about the age. So we sometimes have some people who are a lot younger than us. They've actually seen the world. They've dealt with issues. Life has happened to them. So in that process, they've learned more than myself, that I'm much older than them. So sometimes when we're talking, it is life experience sometimes make us be able to narrate things or deal with issue much better than people that are older than us, because we've seen it all. Some people, depending on where they grew up, how they grew up, how they were dealt with, they are able to handle some issues because that sort of issue has come their way before. Now comparing it with someone that is just happening to them, they will just be looking at the way they're handling issue because they've dealt with it or they've seen that thing happen in the past, so they can relate well. So for me, like I said, Fancy needs help herself. There's something she's dealing with, which I really don't like that she's not coming out. And I hope that she finds help. She should go. She should go and find seek for help, maybe therapy and all that. If she's also being I know she's emotionally down. She's not liking what is happening. The way she said Alex is treating her and all that. So that's number one, that Fancy herself needs help and she needs therapy. Then she needs to stop this social media up and down thing. I was saying to myself, why won't she just grant an interview to one of the bloggers and or a journalist, and she should just end it there so that they will be the one that will paste the thing out and people read what's happening. Then she shut her page up so that nobody's asking question, or she's, even if they're asking question, if she doesn't want to shut it down, she might decide not to respond anymore. It's not every step I take in my house that everyone must know. I might have only said, oh, I took 1,000 steps. Maybe it's even more than that. Maybe there's some steps I didn't even count, or it was less. So it's not about just leave it there. It's approximately blah blah blah. So she what I noticed from what I've read from the interview she granted, I pick up some, would I say, red flag, some things that some lessons for us to learn. If you're younger, if you're older, some lessons to learn, and some lessons that even me myself, I would need to tell my daughter that, oh, these are one of the things you need to look out for. Sometimes we actually know the red flags, but the thing that is dealing with us, the the emotional thing, the love thing, will not be able to, will be preventing you from acting on that red flag. You're like, oh no, I think my own is exception, I think my own is different. Even when you see the red flag glaring at you in front of you like this, you like, oh no, I love him, I think he's not gonna do that, I'm reading his body language, until when it finally happened. We can advise people, we will tell people this are the red flags, but at the end of the day, when it comes, when you are in love, you tend to, would I say, overlook it? It's not as if you don't see it, you overlook it. Some people say, oh, the love blind their this thing. If it blinds their faces or their vision or whatever, I feel that it's not, even when they are not blinded or when they can see it, they're able to process it, but denial of acting on it. There's a difference from me saying that something is going to fall. I should process it fast, act on it to maybe either hold that thing, prevent that thing from getting on the floor so that it doesn't break, or I just look. It depending on the action I'm taking as well. Even when it has actually now fallen off, maybe it has broken. Maybe I should get a dustpan and pack it up, or get a cloth or something like that, or tissue to pack it up, or I decide to just, I'm just gonna walk away, that it will dry up. So when it dries up, it's easier to pack. The way I process that thing, the action I took as well. If someone else is sorry or sees it, whichever one that applies, I'm not an English they say, someone else will see it and thought to themselves, why did she prevent it from falling? Why did she pack it up immediately? Why did she use tissue? Why did she use dustpan? Why did she use water? Why did she use spray? There will be different. So would I now put dustpan, put spray, put everything, put this thing, and someone else will say, like, which one do you want to use? Are you dense? So people will always judge. That's that. The fact that she said Alice is swinging between both ways. Alice is not coming out to accept this. And also, I feel she breaks a boundary because of love. This is what I'm saying, that, sometimes when the truth is growing at us, we'll still try to, like, I think mine is exceptional. I think this person can hurt me. I think this one, that one. That is part of the things I noticed that Fancy did. In as much as she's complaining about Alex this, Alex that. And also, she said the apology that she tendered was actually drafted um, between both of them, between herself and Alex. So, and she's been with Alex for a week before she actually sends the apology letter across, saying that Alice is aware of this apology, which when I read the first apology letter, I thought to myself, like, it's like maybe when she wants to come back, Alice decided that, you know what, you brought the issue to social media to break up with me, so go back to social media to let them know that you're coming, we're together. That's how I can feel okay. And like she said in the interview, she said that is how if she feel Alex is trying to clear his own image, not considering the action, So she put a lot of words into it, but in a way she was contradicting herself. And but the truth is out now. From what I've read so far, Alex is aware of what is happening. Alex is also pushing her out, but she is trying. It's like when some people tell you that go forward, go and talk, and behind you, we're behind you. And once you now get to the stage and you start talking, you're expecting these people to kind of be accepting you. You're looking at them, looking at their face to give, to show support. But they just pretend that they're looking like so blank. You'll be so confused, like, and you know what? You're just there yourself. People will be reading meanings to the way you attended to your speaking or whatever point you're passing across, because that's already distracting you. People will think you're confused as well. So some people will push you to go forward, but they'll back out once they know that you're already there. They'll back out. They will leave you to yourself. So I think that's part of what Alex did. She is trying to do Mr. Nice. I'm not going to say much. Let her continue to face the truth, but I'm just trying to clear my name. If Alex is in love with you and is trying to clear his name, when both of you come together, you become one. I know even when we become one, we still have our names. But I'm thinking, did she not see that this is what Alex is trying to do? She's made that mistake, and I hope that she's learned so far on what she shouldn't do in the next maybe relationship, or if they eventually come back together. She did mention that the whole family doesn't want to see Alex to be part of their family anymore, blah blah blah. She also said Alex was dealing with curvy women. I think that alone has actually caught her self-esteem, because she'll be wondering to herself, am I not beautiful enough? She's really pretty. Fancy's really pretty. She has a nice figure, nice skin, blah blah blah. Yeah. So she'll be thinking to herself, is she not nice enough? What does he want? And she's also said they've not been intimate for the past 5 years. Okay, intimate for the past 5 years. That point, I want to address that. Could it be that because some people, going into relationship, they need to learn to start asking questions. The question that we were not able to ask, at least about over 20 years ago, when myself and my husband were planning marriage, I didn't ask the question of, how do you like it done? How do you want this done? We were just working on, okay, we love each other, we want to get married with this one. But the world is into this thing now, that you are able to ask questions. Ask questions. Don't fall into this Christianity thing of, oh, we until when you get married, that's when you can talk about it, or when you're going for marriage counseling. Some marriage counseling thing, the church one will not even go into this thing with you. You have to start dealing with them once you're in the marriage, and some of them you can't even speak up, because they will base these things on women should submit. That's how a lot of women submitted to when they buy meaning on life. They passed on. Did you ask questions? So when he said he doesn't want to, maybe he's trying to swing towards being a religious person, that he wants to follow the will of God, or what the Lord said, that until when you become man and wife, that's when you can start doing kiriwai, you can start being intimate, and you now cut him with someone else, then that means he has broken that rules. Now, are you interested in this being intimate with him? Is that what? Then that's when you should start discussing that. If he says, "Oh, it was a mistake, he fell for, or he was seduced," and that means he's broken the distance, and you're still keeping yourself. You're trying to work with him to make him be maybe someone that he wants to be. This is part of what women do. You're trying to help that man to build their own life, their own career. But once they're out, then they buga. I don't even know how to put it. They don't want to remember that anymore. Some of them will even tell you that, how much did you spend? Let me pay you off. That's when they know that. Women to do that as well. Once the man finish is over, sending them to school, or making them who who they desire to be, and they start making money, they realize that they and the man are not compatible. It happens. I'm not going to subscribe to or continue to dwell in that relationship till when every one of you hate each other and you buy each other. No, if you think, if you're done, you're done. Just let the person know. Stop wasting their time. You can. It's just that it might take a year or two while you're discussing this thing, trying to see if you can both work something out. And if it doesn't happen, then let everyone go without throwing yourself on social media. It's not easy. It's easier said than done. I know. So, and also, the fact that she said, talked about the 5 years that is caught in with curvy women, and I know that would disturb her, because she'll be thinking, what is she not doing? What is she not pitching now? Does she not have nice figure? She does. She has nice figures, but I don't know what is the issue is. It's something that will be worrying, disturbing her, messing with her head and all that. So 5 years no intimacy as well, which as at last night, Alex Okubo's maybe, would I say, family member, one of their family member, maybe it's the main family member, it's an extended one, I don't know, called Ijeoma Ekubo. She called into Bodojibo's TV live stream yesterday, and she started trying to debunk it. She said a lot of things that were not supposed to be said, either online or privately. She's saying, "Oh, it's not in our family." I know that kind of statement. How we grew up, that will say, "Oh, madness is not in our family." Even someone that is dementia. As at that time, back home, back then, not what I mean back home, then any people people with dementia are not classified as being having this condition, but they will tag them as being mad. It's just because they are forgetting things, and sometimes some of them act up. They're people with autism, they tag them as being mad. They tie them up. They give them all sorts of what is it called? They reset people's brain with slap, with too many punishments. Maybe they will not give them food so that they can conform to what they want them to be. There's so many things that were done wrong. As at that time, it was working for them. It's a force. They use force, not being perceived per se. They're not persistent. So there is a force, doing that thing out of that person's will, forcing that person to accept that thing, and that person to conform to what they want. So they feel it works for them, and it becomes a norm that that's what people are practicing. As the world is getting more enlightened, things are coming up, and a lot of awareness are coming up in our country, back home country, Nigeria, and other countries, that these things are not accepted. These are the conditions. Things needs to be done about it. There's a route to it. There's a way to go about things, and to help these people gain their confidence or independence.
And when he started talking to me, he was telling me, "Oh, I was with Fancy in January because they broke up. That thing happened in August. Wedding was supposed to hold in November of that year. So January of the next year, they made up, And then he told me how they made up, they made love, they did this, they did that.
He told
And
you.
yes,
Hold on. He
and
told
even
you
Fancy has even said it with her mouth self to one of my
that
friends. I don't know why that they had sex after they made up. So why will a grown-up girl like that, just because I am so angry with Fancy right now? I didn't want to come into this thing. I wanted to keep quiet the way we kept quiet before, but this thing now is just going out of hand. It's too much. And that we can't even start. She even said
so
it
I think
to
in all
she
of this
said it
now,
with
the
her
thing
own
that
mouth.
really hurt you the most, even the engagement breakup and everything that Fancy has said, Ijeoma, you disappoint me. I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
Let me tell you why this
Made up. People didn't know. And when he started talking to me, he was telling me, "Oh, I was with Fancy in January because they broke up. That thing happened in August. Wedding was supposed to hold in November of that year. So January of the next year, they made up. And then he told me how they made up. They made love. They did this. They did that.
He told
And
you.
yes,
Hold on.
yeah,
You see the way I'm saying it. Let me tell you something.
People will always want to believe the negative thing. Initially,
No. It's not negative. It's just a lifestyle. Let me tell you
it's
something.
not a lifestyle. Alex is not gay. It doesn't run in the family.
See the way you are. No, hold on. It
we
doesn't run in the family.
We don't have that in the family. He
That's
is
the
not.
problem.
Even Fancy
That's
will
the
tell you.
problem. You think he does?
Let me say something. Fancy will tell you herself that
Junior, please come in. Come and help
I
me.
asked Fancy the last message you sent, when you went online to write leave your truth, and I said, Fancy, why did you make that comment? Do you know that people now, because of that, people were saying, oh, that means you found out he's gay. This is somebody you've been with for 5 years. Have you not been sleeping with Alex?
You are saying that you don't have gay in your family. You know how homophobic you sound.
No. He's not. Please, I really want you people to stop saying that. You people should stop saying Alex is gay, because you
see the way I'm saying it. Let me tell you something.
People will always want to believe the negative thing. Initially,
no, it's not.
So that video is from Obodo Yibo TV channel on YouTube. You can go and watch the video there. It's about 3 hours long, or 3.5 hours long. So I also saw this on Instagram, which was extracted. I wanted to extract some, so I got some from the Instagram as well. So you can go to the channel and watch and support her as well. I thought I should bring this to your attention and give credit to whom credit is due. So the 5 years thing, because she didn't ask question, and I felt that because she's also naive, she did not ask. Maybe she actually thought, number one, I felt she doesn't know that it's going to be up to 5 years. When you meet a man, or a man met a woman, she said, oh, I'm no intimate place before until the wedding day. And they discussed it, and the guy said, okay. The guy will be thinking, okay, we're now in a relationship. They want to speed things up. They'll be thinking of a year, 18 months, 2 years. Then it starts extending. I think that is how she took it. I guess both of them didn't know that it's going to be up to 5 years. They thought it was going to be like a few months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, without being intimate. And issues happen, they broke up, they come back together, they broke up, they come back together, and this one and another. That's how it got extended to 5 years. Not that it was planned that for the next 5 years that we're going to be together, there won't be Kiriwine. I think Nancy would have said, oh, I don't think I'll be able to cope with that, or I will be okay with that, as long as you remain the same way. So with that, I think the 5 years got extended without a planned. Maybe Nancy thought it was just going to be a few months. The same thing with Alice as well. Then the thing is, does Alice actually do with other people? She said in this interview as well that he's been with COVID women, but he doesn't even do the thing. So I'm a bit confused that it seems Alice doesn't even be intimate with or those COVID women. So what does he do with them? Does he just smoosh them and not go in penetrating? So it's a bit confusing with that. And I will move to Alice at the moment now. Any other point I remember about Nancy, I'll bring that up. Alex needs to come out to say who he is. the world is so civilized now that, yeah, there is no crime. There is no crime for declaring who you are. There is no law that will persecute you for being non-straight. So his family that believe that Alex is this, Alex is that. They should also know that he can change. He can decide to say, okay, so Alex can decide to come out to say to his family, this is who I am. I just realized, or I've come up with it. I was in denial of it before, thinking maybe it's just something is just messing with my head, but I was trying to work with it, but it's not working. So this is who I am. I've decided to accept my fate, and I need the family to know that this is who I am. I love you. I will still continue to be, to work with you if she's granting, if he's helping, assisting them financially, or that it's not going to stop anything, but this is who I am. And let me say this thing, this is what I know, seen, I'm sure people know about this, that being GAY does not stop them from having children. We know a lot of people that they actually have, they know they got married, they have children, they train their children to uni, and they before they would decide to declare to their family or to their wife that this is who I am, and their children are grown up. It doesn't stop them. Does that mean that they've not been practicing it during the time they were married to their wife and having children, training their children, that they haven't practiced it? They do. So when they say they cheat, it doesn't mean they only cheat with the opposite gender. No. So he needs to come out to say it. Maybe there should be a law that or would I say legislation that Nigeria needs to bring up to let these people have. Maybe they should have a union as well. So if this is what you are, declare it as so this thing, or make so that, and also nobody is going to buy you for saying who you are. People just need to be careful that people that don't want to, they can't get married to you. It doesn't stop them from being your friends. It doesn't stop them from being your friends. The way the sister, if Alex's sister called Ijeoma, Ekubo calling to Bodo Yibo's TV, and she was saying it's not in our family. There's nothing like that. It was when we were growing up that they would be saying madness not in our family. When people want to get married, they will say they will send someone to go and check or sniff around the family, the town, to ask maybe they have mental people that have already been mad, maybe so thing. What if it's not what people sees it to be? I know it's good to do your background check, but it's not in our family. I don't get it anymore. I don't get it, because it's a bit confusing now. Things that are in the family, there are some things that is a medical issue. High blood pressure, you will now say it's not in our family. If your parent doesn't have it, doesn't mean that you won't have it, because it's also depend your if you're going through stress, your parents might not have it, doesn't mean that you won't have it. Depending on what they were going through then, the support they have then, and the support you are having now, what you are going through as well. So some people is always high blood pressure, and they will say, oh, I already know my parents are having this thing. My my grandma have high blood pressure, so I'm trying to work on not having it. I want to know what I'm consuming, the stress I'm going through, how to do. They're trying to work towards that thing, to work on it so that it doesn't also pie them early. That is also good. But now saying that, oh, we don't have it in our family, so that means it won't happen. Oh no, I don't think so. It might start from one person. It might start from you. It might start from your own child or anyone, your cousin. Where it will start from somewhere, because it didn't happen in the past doesn't mean that it won't happen. And another thing is that there are a couple of things that happened in the past that were not brought to open because of people. The way people will shade them. So people hide this thing. Being GAY has been happening in the past, but it's because they're not bringing this forward. But now that people are bringing it forward, there are a lot of, I will focus on Nigerians that are not able to still bring it forward. Look at, is this Uti? What is his name? The one that did the reunion for the Lagos housewife. During his birthday last year, he posted some pictures having earring on, wrap out all through. It showed, and people were saying, "Oh, he's finally declaring that it's gay, blah blah blah." I don't think he responded, and after a week or two, the thing died down. So if they see him with any man or whatever, that's his own cup of tea. It doesn't. He's saying, telling you that it doesn't really hold you. So being gay does not stop them from getting married or having children. This is another impression that we do have, that being a gay, maybe, or they will only be dealing with the other this gay person too. They still get married, they still have their offspring. Is it going to happen with their offspring when they grow up? I don't know about that, but it happens. The only thing that will be good is that if they are with opposite sex, they should let them know that this is who I am. Because let me tell you something, no matter what, they will know. If in as much as these people know, you tell these people, tell us, or what me saying us, meaning the female, the women, you will still find some percentage of people that will subscribe to it, that will say, you know what, I don't mind, it's okay, as long as you treat me well. And you know what, if that person has cash, if they are doing well, they have coins, they can pay bills, they don't mind, they'll say, Some ladies are okay for their men to cheat on fellow men rather than cheat on their own distance, because they feel, okay, it's a man. And there was a video I watched last year of a GAY guy who got married, after a while divorced his wife and went to go and meet GAY. Maybe he was cheating on him before. So, and they decided to. This is how, you see, things are coming up. We have to just watch it and learn to accept it, that this is how things are happening right now. So being GAY does not stop them from getting married. Some GAY swing between two, while some can't do any other. It's just that non-straight person that they are dealing with. Why some can do both. Some will they can cope for years to have the opposite gender with them. They will have children, they will have things, until when they feel, you know what, it's okay now, I can live my life. Some is because of the family pressure, the disgrace, how they're going to stigmatize them and all that. It's like when our parents force us to be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, and they want to be something else. So once they go to do, they study what their parents want them to study, what their parents want to sponsor. When they now become independent, they will decide to go for the course they want to do. Maybe they want to be a comedian, actors, and all that. And they used to say that, oh, my parents didn't want me to be so thin. My parent wanted me to be a doctor. He wants me to be a lawyer, but this is my what I want to do. So after practicing for a couple of years, I decided to change. They have to write. They are adults. Their parents will only embrace that new profession or new them when they are doing well. If they are not doing well, they will like, I don't want to see you. We disown you. Once they are doing well, they don't disown them. This is what I note. They don't disown them. They also want people to see them as, oh no, that's what they say they are. At least they are not asking you to pay their bills. They are not begging for food. Yes. So Alex should come out to declare who he is, in as much as he's not a more talker. He doesn't want to engage in social media as this thing. He's free to say, this is who I am, or give me time, I'm still trying to work on something. Or this accusation of what people have been saying about me, I'm trying to see, is that who I am? So give me time, I'm trying to see who I am. And a couple of months come back to say, I've tried to test myself, I've tested myself. When I mean tested myself, try to see, maybe I'm actually attracted to more of my own gender rather than the opposite gender. I find that I'm more into opposite gender. I can do both, but more opposite gender. More of my gender is my this thing. If he says that this is who he is, give it 1 week. People will rest. To maximum 2 weeks, they know him for who he is. And you know what? They now have more followers. His money will not stop. So I think Alex needs to do that. From what Nancy said, I think Nancy knew and she doesn't mind, which is another point I want to raise. Sometimes we know these things, but we'll say we don't mind. if, like I said, when Alex said no intimate until wedding time or wedding day, that Nancy accepted. I said, keep saying Nancy, Fancy, sorry, please. Fancy accepted that no intimacy until the wedding night. She doesn't know the length of time they were going to wait for. Maybe she thought it's going to be a year or two, and it keep extending. The same way with, if she knows that Alex is straight or Alex is not straight, but she says she's fine with it, that irrespective of who Alex is, meaning she knows, but she doesn't want to say it straight up, or on the same word we want to hear, that, oh, Alex is straight, Alex is not straight. She knows that, but she says she's okay with it. So this is another thing I was saying, that some women, even when they know, they still go into it. The same thing with women that are into themselves as well. They will still see people that will say, you know what, I don't mind. You hardly find the one that are not doing well that a woman will say, oh, I will cope with it. No, it's really not, it's not, we don't see it as much. So Nancy is aware. She says she's fine with it. The point is, after 5 years of marriage, Nancy might get tired of it, because she would not consider the father. Who is Alex doing this thing with? If Alex is not straight, that whoever that is now Alex's other partner might not be interfering in their own relationship, getting to a point where Fancy is not able to take it anymore. So Fancy might start feeling insecure, on if she start getting, stress and all that. She might decide that, you know what, I need to go out of this thing. I can't cope. But I would love if they say I can't cope anymore. They should say they knew before getting into it. They thought they would be able to cope, but after a while we can't cope. It's like when we eat rice. We like rice. Some of us that like rice. So if you eat rice morning, afternoon, night, the first 1 week, if you're still okay with it, by the time it's second week, you're getting tired of it. Irrespective of, they do it in jollof rice, they do it with ayamashe, or is it atamashi they call it. They do it with spice pepper, different sauce, put vegetable on it. You would, after a while, after eating all those varieties, you get tired of it. You want to eat maybe couscous or swallow or yam, or so many things. So some will say, oh, I like this thing more. It doesn't mean that that's the only thing you have. So this is where Fancy got it. I think she got it wrong. Maybe she thought she can cope with it right now. If marriage eventually happen, I think after a couple of years she will not be able to cope with it, and she will feel she can use that to compare Alex to subscribe to part of one of our own terms and conditions as well, which the guy might think twice before agreeing to it. Some men don't mind to break up because of this. So part of what I think she's doing, because she loves Alex so much, she was ready to break her own boundaries. Most of women, ladies out there, they do have boundaries. People will tell you, this is my deal breaker. Once you cheat, that's it. But if you steal, I'm okay. If you this, I can deal with it. But if you do so thing, I cannot deal with it. It's a no, that they can't deal with any other thing. So with the deal breaker, nobody will tell me that, oh, because they love me, but they will try to buy my child or my children, then they want me to not react. It's a deal breaker for me, and I will say, I don't think I can go with someone that can cheat on me. Of course, I can't. Everybody with their own decision. Why some will say they can and they don't mind, but you will see them coping with it after a while. You see all these things, and I'm doing it because of our children. It also gets women in a lot of messy relationship, because they are doing it for their children. They don't want their children to suffer. They don't want their children to this, and it still affects the children as well. I pray that God just intervene in our relationship with the way we want things done, and for us to also be more aware of what to do and take action. So Fancy decided to break. She has boundaries that she thinks that she won't be accepting, but because she loves Alex, she decided to break her boundary for love. But is Alex breaking his own boundary for Nancy? I don't think so. I don't see it that way. Those are the things that I notice about Nancy and Nancy's this thing as well. And something else is that, you know, when with Alex is that when people are talking about you on the same thing and you don't come out to talk about it, people will take it as a yes or address it, or would I say confirm or confirm that thing. People will take it as a yes. Some people, so they will say, oh, should I take your silence as a yes? Meaning, I just don't want to use the word yes, but okay, I'll take your silence as a yes. That's what some people take. So, Alex being a non-street person, I started like over 10 years ago, couple of years ago, before Fancy decided to break up the marriage plan and use the word that he should live his truth. So that has been in the pipeline. Is it because they don't see him with ladies? Not, I see him with ladies, so but I don't know whoever they have relationship. But I haven't met him one on one. I mean, you know, people, maybe the people that I act with, people that I play with, they mention his friend, the IK one, that blah blah blah. Even the Ijeoma that calling yesterday was saying IK is married, he has children. Ko matter. It doesn't matter. Let me just put a disclaimer here that everything I said is not 100% right. I may be wrong. You can let me know your opinion. And also, I speak Yoruba and English in this channel. So yeah, IK being a non-straight or is straight, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. I think that woman is not that enlightened enough. She's not or she doesn't want to accept it. The fact that she even said that we don't have it in our family is a non. It's just a no for me. Like, oh, this person is not really that enlightened in this area. I'm not saying she's a bush woman or she's not, but there are a couple of things that we're not enlightened with. We're not that until when she accepts that thing, sees it that way, that it doesn't stop the love they have for Alex or IK or wherever. People can get married, have children, do this one, take years before they will know. And she was saying, she made some statement like, oh, I've got some friends who are GAY, some white people that, you know, making that kind of statement is another form of being racist, or, you know, you're showing another part that people don't want to hear. People don't, it's not acceptable by the by people. So I hope that she's going to listen to that thing again and, you know, correct herself. Even if she doesn't come to social media to correct herself, but learn to go and read about it and take time to accept it. It takes a while. It's not everything that you want to take. My daughter once asked me that, oh, what if one day my son decides to tell me that he wants to be gay? I said, me too. I said, God forbid. This is what part of the first thing that parents will want to say, or want to, or they will just say it even unconsciously. God forbid. You know, we first of all put God before we start thinking of it, like, what if it happens? And it bothers me for a while too. So these are the things that she needs to take time, accept that thing, and promise herself that it's not going to stop the love I have for my brother or cousin or whoever Alex is to her, or that, oh no, and she was saying, oh, she said, oh, Alex and Fancy have had been intimate, that Fancy told her, blah blah blah. You're not there. See, when let me say, for women's side, ladies side or women's side, if they are dating someone or they are in love with someone, marriage or dating or relationship, if that person is broke, if they have money, they tend to show love to that person. Some will buy this phone and they will tell you is that it was their boyfriend that bought it for them. He gave it to them as a birthday gift. He did this one for me. They bought it for themselves, but they will bought. I mean, they bought. It's either they bought it for themselves, they bought it with their money and give it to the guy, or give the guy the money that this is what I want for gift. Blah blah blah. Buy it for me. Present it for me. They want video. To the extent that what is going on right now is that even when a woman wants to be proposed to, they don't want the guy to just wake up and just give them ring. You know, no more relationship in the house that, oh baby, you know what, you know, I can't do without you. You're my wife. Would you marry me? And the lady will like, are you proposing? Is this? No, we need to organize. Then they will start taking phone and start calling their friends. They need to organize things, do a room, you know. it's not everyone that is into it. Even these are part of the things that you need to find out about your partner. That is this something they like? Some will say you cannot propose to me without, organizing. Like, people must know now. Abba, come on, no. They want people to see. They don't want you to see ring in their hands and just notice and say, oh, you're engaged, or congratulations. Oh, they will hug you, thank you. No, they want the one that people will be pressing play back. Then another lady will like, oh, my boyfriend must do it this way. So if they have a boyfriend that cannot meet up to that expectation, they don't have that kind of money, it becomes an issue. So that lady needs to learn to accept that thing, that Ijeoma, Ekubo. Unless you come out with his truth, nobody's gonna pine him. Tell us what you are. There's be speculations, allegedly that you're this, you're not this. Your family member coming on live show of Obodo Yibo saying no to it is not cannot would I say authenticate it. It's not a confirmation. Even if Alex come out to say he is not GAY, people might still not believe. Yeah. Now, people, if someone now come out to say, oh, I've GAY with Alex before, then there will be somebody else who want to come out to say, oh, this person is lying. I think God knows the truth, but I know Fancy knows the truth as well. So this is my own take on Fancy coming on social media to bring out our own truth. I think she's dealing with a lot of things that she's not maybe embracing or accepting or knowing now, and I hope that she's gonna find someone to tell her to also seek for help. She has her own fault as well, her own flaws, things that she didn't see, maybe because she was blinded or she was too much in love with Alex. Some say it's fame that she likes Alex's fame. She's also a model from US, I guess. Yeah, she's a Nigerian US based lady. So, and she's doing well. From what I understand, that our family has some coins as well. That Alice wanted Fancy and her family to fund the wedding, but Alice wouldn't want to put something down. And this notion that we have that is just it's only the male family, the man that cater for all the weddings. No, I don't accept that. People, I read it or heard it from, I can't even remember the place where they will say, oh, it's the man that spend more money, she will spend on the woman's family. No, if the woman's family has money, yes, they don't allow such. If the man's family is doing much better, they can assist. But there's some ladies' family that will say no. And the ladies' family spend more during wedding because they are the one entertaining or welcoming guests to their house. So they want them to feel okay. And also the bride will want the bride our own in-law to feel comfortable, and that will give her more respect. So sometimes they want to go over their budget, what they can afford. They might get money from their own husband to be, but if the family is doing well, they can put something on together. So the ladies' family spend more than the men's family. During my own wedding, my family spent more. My sisters, my brother, they put things together. So it's not as if my own husband did not help me in one way or the other. Yes. So when it comes to wedding dress as well, sometimes is the man will pay for it, will help his wife to pay for it or other things. It doesn't mean that the lady's family doesn't do anything. If the lady is working, she might be able to cater for everything. So this notion of in Nigeria is the man that does the wedding. She buy everything. Is the one that will buy the shoe, all the things they said they should bring in the car, in the bag during wedding. The lady will buy, maybe olden days, maybe before I was born or before I was become a teenager. Then maybe in early 70s, early. Now, before I got married, I bought most of the things in my briefcase because it's what I want to use. I will not allow the old people from the village to now start putting ashoke that I will not use. because that was what was going on, that they will say they should put Ashoke. We alter some of this Ashoke listing. I'm not going to use Ashoke. I did not, me that give my children here, me, I did not back them. Would I say, is it back they call? Most of the time we don't use it. Maybe we might just back them in the main house, but not outside. So not those things that they were doing in the olden days. So the ladies will, most of the thing in the box, they will put their own thing. They might put their own clothes, some of the new clothes that they've sewn, or some of bags and all that. So for the bag to be, kind of be a bit heavy. Maybe when it comes to maybe the yam, the oil and all that, okay, the husband family will buy because it's the least they want them to. My own family, they don't take price. They return it because they are not selling that's their own way of doing things. It doesn't mean that I can leave my husband's house anytime I start running home, but it's just that they're just saying they're not selling, or they're not exchanging their daughters with that way, and they are free to come back home. That kind of free to come back home. It's not like I will just wake up one day and just be going back home. No. So I just thought I should bring this to your attention about this notion of, is a man that always buy, or no, please, let's be realistic here. So it's not only the men might spend, depending on how the women's families are, or what they can accept, and how buoyant they want the wedding to be. Sometimes we go over who we are just because we want to show off. When we want to show off, we do more. People borrow money just because, but immediately after the wedding, they start counting the money that comes in. Who gave them this one? Rift started happening. They will start having issues. If any single mistake, they pass comment to each other. They will start having issues during honeymoon, or within a few months of their wedding. The man would want to say, oh, all the money I spent, blah blah blah. The woman will respond. That's how they start having issues. The things start prepping up, and they start having that issue, hatred within themselves. I think people should learn to do what they can afford. And postponing wedding all the time, I think it also contributes to this they want to spend more. I want the societal wedding, people to see it. I want my wedding to break the other one. For what Fancy said about Alex Ekubo wanting elaborate wedding because of the industry he is. If you notice, most of the Nollywood people, if they want to get married, more is bang 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 clothes. Actually, be so many things. So for the people that have done in the past now, that he's seen or attended, he will want his own to be that way or beat it. It's either you're there or beat it, or maybe it's just almost there. But you don't want it to be too, they don't want it to be too, the difference to be too, that people that one is, no, because of the people they have around them. And I don't think they tend to want to maybe have a union of they contribute for this person that is doing so thing to help in assisting. I'm not sure of that. I'm not in their industry, so I don't know. But I feel Alex Ekubo will want to, being the kind of person he is, he wants to spend, he wants it to look this thing. But if you don't want to spend your own money, then you're making a big mistake. So that when the thing finally pack up, you walk out maybe unhurt, or like, oh, you didn't even bother wasting your money. If the lady's family has more money, doesn't mean that they have to be the one to spend more for the family. You do what you can do, but don't leave everything to the lady's side. I'm talking to Alex Ekubo and whoever that falls into the same kind of category, that you know what, if they are doing well, if they are willing to assist, and your family are willing to accept, yes. Because some family will say, no, it is what we have that your husband family must cope with. This is who we have. We're not. It depends. So that's my own take on this. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about Fancy's coming to the social media to explain herself. I think she's done enough so far. For me, I think she's done enough so far. She's granted an interview, and that is enough for people to understand. In Yoruba, they say the one she said so far is enough for us to take it to this thing. There are some couple of exchange of texts from Nancy and Fancy and Alex as well. And like I said, I think Alex doesn't know that this thing are going to get it's going to get to this stage. When Fancy sent the apology letter, maybe a day or two later, when Alex decided to send just 1 or 2 line message, I'm quoting the Bible scripture to it, which is funny, maybe he doesn't know that this thing where people are going to throw this girl like this, and she wasn't finding it easy. She made a mistake of also responding to the trolls as well. Like, how many people would respond to people? Some people will blame you that you didn't see it. You saw it, now you're okay with it, or you said this, you didn't say that. People will not want to believe her that all she said wasn't was untrue. Why some people would believe her? For me, did I believe everything Fancy has said? No. Some of them, but I believe that 80% of what she said, 80 to 90%, it's true. So that's what I mean by the no. What Ekubo was going to say, everything won't be 100% true. So, but it's just that there will be more of the truth to their stories. At least they are the one that brought their stories to the social media to know what is happening between their relationship and their family, and the family member has decided to also come to support their own brother. It's expected, you want to support your family, but we just need to watch what we're saying out there. So I think that's all I have about this. And also I was going to mention that bringing your issue to social media, you're giving the social media people to talk about your issue. People will break up and they will say, please give us a space. People will discuss it on social media. They don't have to call you. The space, I think the meant is, don't call us to start asking, can you grant us an interview, or what actually happened. They want people to leave them alone, but people will talk about it on social media. That is expected. And that brings me to this lady that said, she said, when government, maybe if government decide to give a law or punish people that are not, let me read this out word to word. Andrew is Red Vigor. I think she's the ex to this actor as well. This actor. She said that if the presidency stroke Nigeria can't find it necessary to legalize being GAY, so that these FMs can live their life normally, then there should also be a gigantic penalty for the monsters who, knowing their sexuality, still go ahead to marry or trap their opposite gender into marriage, or victim refuse them their primary responsibility, heavily manipulate them and shatter their mental health and self-worth, traumatize them heavily, then divorce them only to run along to the next victim and act like they done nothing wrong, which is true. It's part of what I said, that maybe if government decide to legalize it, there should be a law that if they want to register for it, let people know, but and in that rules there should be that you need to let whoever you're dating to know that this is who you are. Let there be, if they want to sign that I accept, I know that this person said they are GAY, or this person said they are the other thing, I accept, I'm okay with it. That one will not be issue to deal with. People were throwing her, people were saying, oh, so our ex-husband, because they divorced and our ex-husband got married, I think towards ending of last year as well. Yeah, I think his name is Chuku, I'll find out. So people were sending their own distance that, oh, so our ex was GAY, that's why they left each other. There's this guy called Ken too, and people said, oh, his wife complained that the guy is GAY too before they finally divorced. There's so many of these things going on. May God save us, may God save our country. But it seems Nigeria has been the topic of issues. They always have things coming up you know, people are getting more enlightened, their eyes are opening, ojú wọn ti ń là gan. So like I said, there's no I don't think there should be any truth for knowing that this person is DAY, unless you come out. If it's DAY, whoever that is DAY, should the people know. If you notice the people that are changing their gender as well, look at Bobrisky. They've declared, people throw them, but they are getting more popular, they are getting money. James Brown, or what's his name too, there are a couple of them as well. I heard some guys are coming out to do it just because they feel they will have money, that people will follow them, but they were being true. So some people are lucky about it, but I think they need to legalize a couple of things so that people stop throwing them and they can live their truth. They can say, this is who I am, and they can walk freely, that nobody's going to come attack them. Because I think some of these people are being attacked personally when they are out there. If it's just the social media true, I think some of them are able to cope with it since they are not being seen face one-on-one. But because it hasn't really been legalized, for them to come out, they feel people will come attacking them. And I'm sure Nigerians, you know, there are some people that they are so confrontational that once they see you, they will come to your face and say, oh, how dare you say this? And this family thing that they will say you spoiled the reputation of the family, or you disgraced us. Mother will want to disown, father will want to disown. Some people don't want to be associated with them. But like I said, if these people have coins, they will not. It's only for a few weeks that they will just kind of keep quiet. After a while, everything goes on. Life goes on. That's what I observed here so far. There's so many lectures and things on social media that people can read. So please enjoy yourself. Let me know in the comment section below again if you agree with what I've said, what lesson we have learned so far in this video of Fancy and Alex Ekubo. I pray that they find closure as well and everybody settle well. And I pray that the people that maybe upcoming ones will be able to learn lesson, get more enlightened, and you know, be strong enough to face their truth, and also they will not fall into some unexpected distance. I pray that people get more insight into what they are going into like the relationship, so they can be able to weigh that, is this something they can cope with? Remember, some don't know that they can not be able to cope with it for a very long time. They will say they can, but after a couple of while they get tired. Some will say, oh, I can't cope with it, but after a while they feel like, you know what, I can't do without this person. I think I might as well just keep going with this person. The same way with the fact that Fancy said they've not been intimate for a while, you know, that, like I said, maybe the time gets extended, so she doesn't know that it's going to be this long. So there's so many things that I feel people need to kind of weigh. Rushing into relationships sometimes doesn't help, but if they have actually rushed into it, because some people will give testimony that, oh, I met my husband a couple of months ago and we're fine, but some issues that they were dealing with in the house, they will not be able to bring it to light. And if you take back to maybe some of our parents, that they will say, oh, me and your father, we have not fought, we don't have fights. When we're growing up, didn't they see one or two arguments that they have, or some people, or maybe religious people that will say, the pastor that will say they and their wife have not had issue before, or their husband will not have. It's a lie. People that live with them, so they see the hostilities and all that. It's just that maybe they get to reconcile early. That doesn't mean that they don't have issue, because the more issue you have, I think the more you get used to knowing these people more. That's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you can share, that will be fine. This will help my channel to grow. Thank you, or to get more traction as well. Thank you. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you're new here and you like what I'm about, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to my returning subscribers, please don't forget to like and share. Love you, and I'll catch you in my next video. Pick up, please. Bye.